Hello everybody, it is I, YouTube Cool, back again, and today I want to talk about something. Technically, I have one super chase from each of the Cars movies. This is thanks to the re-release of Flash Nielsen and Morgan Martin's this year. I got Rimzo back in 2025, I believe. Yeah, it was 2025. He was a Cars 1 super chase released in 2015. Flash Nielsen was one of the first ever super chases based off the international Cars that were only ever seen in different cuts of the film, hence their nickname, the International Cars, of course. And Morgan Martin's, who was one of only two super chases in 2017, the other being Frances Beltline Crazy 8 version, which a lot of people can't tell the difference between her and regular Cruise. But since these two are re-releases, they technically don't have super chase status anymore. So I still wanted to get a couple actual super chases that, hadn't been re-released yet. And so that's why I am proud to present Globy from Cars 2. This guy has been one of my grandest desires in the Cars collecting hobby. I've wanted this guy for about 3 years now. I meant to get him back in 2024. Back then, he was one of the more cheap super chases, around $20. But, of course, time goes on, gets a little more desirable, and I ended up paying about $60 for this guy, which I wasn't proud about, but I am proud that he's finally in my collection. I actually kind of nearly fell into tears of joy, because now the hunt is over. I finally have Globy. Hopefully Frances Beltline, Crazy 8 Cruz Ramirez, or Biz Torkson, the other super chase from Cars 3 I want to get, aren't too bad to get. I think, Cars 3 only had like three or four super chases. They didn't make that many. But getting back on topic, this is Globy. As you can see, there he is. Super chase on the bubble there. This is the only super chase I've gotten in box, not counting these two because they're re-releases. And also, my only other 2019 item, a lot of the 2019 items have really been shooting up in price. Like a lot of the cotter pin cars in particular. The other car I had on 2019 car back was, of course, Steve Herschel, who I got last year for Halloween. Yeah, this screenshot back here is taken directly from the Doc Drives Again scene from the first Cars movie. I think, was it blurred? No, it was Blue Desert where they blurred the card back and added more of the Ornament Valley mounds there. The mountains that kind of look like cars. So, unlike Steve Herschel, who was a Cars 3 item, and of course in the Florida 500 series, Globy was part of the World Grand Prix series, which I think this year was really good, because it gave us so many of the pit crew members. I think we nearly got everyone. Like, we got a couple of re-releases, and then we got a bunch of new ones just kind of spat out all at once. It was beautiful, honestly. And, it's all good. As you can see here, Globy's card art shows the Globy balloon. That's what this item is specifically based off of. Globy also appears as just, a mascot in 2D art form. But this diecast is, again, based on the balloon itself. Hence the little cross eyes and the texturing and the spoiler, which admittedly is a little inaccurate. It should be a bit rounder, but I'd say for the most part, they did a pretty good job matching Globy. He seems to be a little misprinted, but given that this is super chase, I can't exactly be picky. I wonder if error super chases have ever came out. Like, could you imagine buying a car that's like limited to 4,000 and one of them is an error? That'd be so bad. Anyways, as you can see here, super chase vehicles are limited to no more than 4,000 units produced, unless you're these two. But Morgan deserves it because he's a new model, whereas this is just a filthy recolor. Get out of here, Flash Nielsen. I'm kidding. I love you, Flash Nielsen. You're cool. Small parts may be generated, since, of course, he has a bit of plastic. His prototype here, I don't know if he was originally going to be made in China, because this is like a late 2019 release, I think. It has a 2018 copyright, but, late 2019, I think. I don't know. But yeah, his little windshield part is very small. Interestingly, they don't use a picture of the balloon. They do use a picture of the mascot. And even then, he does look a little cross-eyed. There's a little bit of damage on my card back. I feel bad because originally I was going to get this guy from Get Me Collectibles, and he offered me a slightly cheaper one. It was a plain 60, whereas it paid like 61, but I did donate to a charity, so I felt a little better about myself. Yeah, so again, just all this stuff here. Hold on. Tell South Africa. Where's the, Oh, no, they didn't do the RSN text at this time. That was something invented for, like, 2020, I think. Yeah. I don't remember what the original description for the World Grand Prix was supposed to be. Maybe if I get one of the pit crew members, because they're, like, some of the cheapest items from this year, because they got spammed a lot. And they're also just pitties for the World Grand Prix racers. They're not as desirable as the Cars 1 ones. I always found the name of this item really interesting. World Grand Prix Globy. I don't know, that always just felt weird to me as a name because, you know, Globy is the World Grand Prix mascot, yeah, but, like, World Grand Prix Globy implies the existence of other Globy variants, but there isn't. It's just World Grand Prix Globy. That's so weird. Alright. I think it's time I get him out of the package. It's going to really suck opening a Super Chase. I was really hoping to get a loose copy. I saw one for 20, and I feel so embarrassed I didn't get it. But, you know, it's... what's done is done. Alright, wish me luck. Here he is, out of the box. Alright, let's start with the front. Again, yeah, a little misprinted, but I don't... Dude, I'm just so happy to have Globy. I literally cannot care that he's a little messed up. This is one of the most beautiful looking Thailand cars. Like, I can't even tell that it's a Thailand car. The printing quality is really good on this guy. Like, super crisp. Like, here, let me compare him to Rimzo, who's a China diecast. See that? It's so good. It's so quality. Alright, so Globy appears, again, a lot throughout the Cars movie, but the Globy balloon that this diecast is based on appears alongside Professor Z, who I've actually brought out here at Mayo in the Mini Racer. He lands on top of Globy and then drives away, and it is the funniest thing ever. That is such a funny visual gag. Just this tiny little car here. I have the Mini Racer, so it's even funnier. They're, you know, not super in scale. Globy is a little small. I actually heard someone say that he could be re-released as a single without being downscaled, and I'm not entirely sure on that. Well, yeah, it is true that he's kind of a short item, not super tall. Like, here he is next to Morgan Martins, who was recently released as a single, despite the downscaling. He's only a little bit taller. But here's the thing, Globy is a really wide diecast. Again, like, compared to Morgan, he's just a little big, so he might need to be slightly shrunken down, which, I mean, I wouldn't be against, but, I mean, I guess I would because I did just spend $60 on him, but also, he's just such a beautiful and creative item. Globy's just one of those diecasts that really makes me remember why I love this toy line so much, why I love this series so much. There's so many just beautiful, creative, and unique characters. Cars just provides a lot of super fun and exciting characters, and I adore it. Originally, I was just going to get, like, a Toy Chica McFarlane set. I really want to collect the FNAF McFarlanes, and those are about as expensive as the Super Chases, if not more. But I just could not pass up on Globy. I felt it was time to finally bite the bullet on him, and I'm so grateful I did, because he is just beautiful. Right here, he's just so amazing. Just so good. Yeah, so I don't know my countries very well, but I don't think Globy has any specific country decals on him. I think it's just generic green patches to sort of symbolize that, yeah, you know, that is the you know, the Earth. No polar ice caps, though, which I guess makes sense, because, you know, cars wouldn't really go there, and also, oh, wait. Oh my goodness, he tips over like a tractor. That's actually amazing. I didn't even think that was possible, but he does. It makes sense, too, because of his shaping. So yeah, as you can see, he was produced L42A. Let's see if that's similar to my Steve Herschel. That'd be so cool if these guys were twins. I think it's fraternal twins, right? When they're born on the same day. I was thinking about that the other day. No, L50A. So this is just a little before that. So never mind. Maybe he was originally going to have a China version, because Steve Herschel did. I know that for a fact. Steve Herschel was supposed to have a China variant, but not entirely sure about Globy. So this is my first actual Cars 2 Super Chase versus Flash Nielsen, who is just a re-release. His spoiler is a little big and a little thin. It should be a little smaller and thicker. I think that'd be a good way to compromise on Globy. Also, his wheels are also a little big, so if they do have to downscale him, I hope they at least use it to make him a little more accurate to the movie. But again, he's just so beautiful. I love him. He has a big old goofy smile. I think Globy is like one of the few Cars diecasts to not be an alive character in the franchise. Count with me. Stanley, 2006. Bessie, 2010. Globy. There was another statue of one of the angels outside of the Queen's Palace in Cars 2, but that was canceled. So yeah, I think it's literally these three guys. They're all characters that aren't alive in any way, shape, or form. These are all just inanimate objects. Bessie's kind of alive, but it's a weird case with her. So smooth, glossy finish. I think you can see my reflection in one of these. Yeah, you can. Nothing on the back. Globy seems to be assembled with plastic on the bottom, metal on the top. Yeah. He has connected wheels, which makes sense. Big old car. I love wheels that kind of just have flat indents like that. That feels so good. I'm a little sensitive to texture, so this just hits right, and he has all these grooves on him, which is so beautiful. He's a pretty accurate otherwise car, like for what he is, this is pretty good. Again, he's just so, this is so beyond creative. I know I'm a bit of a broken record, but what other toy line would think, okay, what's a character we can release? How about the giant inflatable balloon that isn't even alive and isn't really a character? Oh, besides that one weird Thomas Wooden Railway item. Do you guys remember that? Thomas's frosty friend. Please, Mr. Snowman, and you need to go back to the children. That is just, God, that episode is so funny. So yeah, I have a good selection of chases and super chases now. I do want to get a couple more. I'm thinking about investing in the Rusty's Can McQueen from Cars 1 2010. It's a lenticular of Agro McQueen, and it comes with the Rusty's Can from the commercial, which is just such a funny concept for a diecast. I genuinely wish they reused that Rusty Can accessory. What other chases would I go after? Megan Carr, who would go great with Globy since, she runs over a poster of Globy. That is so funny. I kind of wish Globy wasn't a super chase. I genuinely do wish this hadn't been a super chase, but if anyone deserved to be a super chase, I think the giant balloon is a really good choice for one. Where's his thing here? Because I forget, did they translate his name? I don't think they did that on the card back. Let me double check if it was on the back, because I think they do translate his name to Globo. I think I heard that somewhere. But no, there he is, just over there. Just Globy is one of the most beautiful items I own, and I am so grateful. All right, the $60 I think was worth it. I do wish I'd gotten him a little sooner, so I wouldn't have spent that much, especially in this economy, but I'm just content. Anyways, I hope we all enjoy the review, and I shall see you all around. Bye-bye. The world shall soon be mine. No, but seriously, bye now.